I know it hasn't been too long since Season 2 ended, but I'm glad we have these shorts to hold us over. This one was simple, but fun, and like always, there's stuff you may have missed. First up, we have a poster that is for Orphan charity. Not a specific one, just Orphan charity. Apparently there's a free cookie for all unwanted drop-offs. How sweet. The kids start off rather innocent, with the far right one saying, "I want to be a fireman!" The far left one kinda normal with a, "I broke Uncle's robot collection." I mean, geez, if that's why he's here, that's pretty sad. And the middle child says, "My daddy invested in Bitcoin." Oh my. Someone should help these kids!
And that leads us to our target, Frank McTickley Wrigglers, aka Mr. Wrigglers. Location, Hugging Dove Charity.
So that's what it's called!
Description, freakishly kind and disturbingly charitable. Info, runs a public broadcast children's television show. Showed me up in high school.
Wow. People really will go to IMP for anything, huh?
Yeah, but I can't help but wonder if Stolas was the one to write this file, not just because it came out after Sinsmith either. If we compare this one to the other files we've seen, we can see the past ones had Moxxie continuing long past necessary info, nonchalant behavior about why the person is the target, probably written by Blitz given Moxxie wouldn't use the word dis instead of this, and another one probably by Blitz given the "I don't speak this language" notes. Moxxie and Millie wouldn't have put that in the notes.
Well, it could have been Loona. I wouldn't put it past her to have added that he keeps making a hand motion that makes me think the target must be a real freak bit.
In any case, this one is concise, no added nonsense, and has proper grammar. Not to mention it suits Stolas more than the others to have it written without abbreviated versions of the wording here. Anyone else would have probably just called it a kids show instead of a children's television show. It makes sense for him to use the proper nomenclature.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and to clear up any confusion about timelines with these shorts, we will be considering any from this one through the end of Season 3 as part of Season 3. Or at the very least, Season 2.5, until we see anything proving otherwise. Now, back to the short. It's not surprising Blitz uses air quotes when he calls him a children's entertainer, or that he'd make a suggestive allusion about his name. But I gotta ask, what kind of control do imps have over their tail muscles? Like, that little wiggle is weird, but kind of impressive in a way.
Next, we get to see exactly what this charity is for. The sign out front reads, "Hugging Dove Charity for Dying Orphans and Injured Puppies." Guy really is trying to help everyone, isn't he? And it appears that Blitz still doesn't have a human disguise, as he sneaks in, lizard tongue and all. I hope they bring the disguise thing up at some point.
For now, let's head inside and look for the bulletin board, with posters for Kilt Movers, Music Lessons, Old Kinky Club, a note for a missing phone, someone's missing key with a note reading, "Your key," very helpful, a note for something that says, "Rebel," but we don't know what to rebel against, a poster with a dog that says, "No pup left behind," and a sign that, while a bit hard to read, even with some editing, seems to read, "Hockey season sign up?"
Then later in the hall, we see another board promoting Anime Club, reminding folks to not litter, an ad for maybe a washer for sale. Most important of all, Kitten Day!
They must really appreciate the janitor if they gave him his own green room, one with a big star on the front and everything. Meanwhile, Mr. Wrigglers has his name on a small, simple, plain nameplate.
Speaking of Mr. Wrigglers, we finally get to meet him, voiced by none other than Jack Plotnick, who we've seen before. You know.
Don't even say it.
I'm just thinking.
No.
We have the "Hey Monica" counter.
No.
We gonna get a "Welcome back Jack" counter?
How many counters do you people want? Let's just get back to the short.
Alright. Well, Mr. Wriggler seems to have quite the Mr. Rogers vibe to him. Soft-spoken, wearing that sweater that kind of borders on Ned Flanders territory, mixed in with a little of Steve Burns from Blue's Clues, and just wanting to help everyone and help everyone feel loved.
What I'm not loving is the holiday inconsistencies. Obviously, we do just mean this all in fun, but literally just with Sinsmas and this short's What You May Have Missed videos, I have questions.
Oh dear, is this a vocal rant sesh? Buckle up, folks. I think they're locked and loaded for this one.
Loona says,
Yeah, you can cut the Santa Claus shit.
so what exactly is happening with the holidays in the Hellaverse? First, we have the Mall Santa in Cherub, but they didn't know about Christmas in Sinsmas.
Do humans have Sinsmas too?
And now with that line from Loona, what is going on here? Did they do research after Sinsmas so they know more for future cases just to be safe? Is there actually a Santa in hell and that's why they have little Santa hats on the decorations and stuff? While we're at it, how literal are we going with some of this stuff? Since we know St. Peter is legit thanks to Hazbin, is it possible there is the actual St. Nicholas and he may be in heaven right now? If so, does that make Santa real? It would answer the normal questions we see in Christmas movies. How could he travel the world in one night? Well, if he can use angelic power and probably have help from the cherubs since they often bring blessings, that would explain how he could move around so fast. Hell, maybe he could use his angelic portals we see the cherubs use to go directly from home to home. How could he live so long? Well, unless he made it to hell during Extermination Day and caught a stray shot, I think he'd be safe. And angels have gotta be immortal age-wise, given Adam was still around. Now, if they didn't do any research, how do they know about Santa? More specifically, how would they know about Santa, but not Christmas? Well, we don't often do full-on theories here, but what the hell, hear me out. As we've seen over the course of the first 2 seasons of Helluva, and we'll probably see to some extent in Hazbin and or in possible crossovers in the future, even if people are in hell, sinners or demons, that doesn't mean they deserve to be there. The demons especially, as we've seen some have the potential to be at least somewhat good. Given some of the backstory we've seen, it's possible that some of them might actually have been somewhat decent if it wasn't for their parents. Blitz clearly didn't want to steal from Stolas when they were kids, but Cash had to be the asshat that he is. Moxxie was being guided well by his mama, then Crimson had to take him down a peg. Even Millie, to an extent, seemed to be a badass assassin out of necessity, the way she told Blitz,
We're just Rathians, Blitz. Muscle. It's all we're good for. All I'm good for.
almost like she had to get out of the farm to help her family any way she can. And when she found out she was good at killing, she stuck to it. Not to mention, we know others like Fizz, Verosica, and even Stolas, for as high as he is, it was, on the hierarchy, that seem to genuinely not be shitty unless it's towards someone that seems to have truly wronged them. If not, they seem to be at most just a bit snarky. Even Ozzy, though he seemed like a dick towards Stolas at his club, turned out to be kind of buddy-buddy with him at the office when they come to meet again. Context is important. All that being said, who's to say, hypothetically, Lucifer didn't have a second deal with heaven? This one less traumatic and actually more endearing. What if St. Nicholas, after dying and going to heaven, expressed that he was going to miss bringing joy to the good of earth, and as a saint, he'd have some insight into the workings in between realms? St. Peter has his list of new arrivals, so what if Nicholas, now going by Santa, has a heavenly list of his own? The naughty and nice list. Now, what if, again, being able to know a bit more than the average angel would, Santa got to occasionally see into hell, and he notices that while the sinners may deserve to be there, the V's, excuse me, the Hellborns never had a choice. This is where the New Deal comes in. He has a talk with Sarah, or whatever other seraphim is in the power at the time, and he demands a meeting with Lucifer. Knowing the angels, they would reluctantly agree, and so St. Nick goes to visit Lucy, proposing to make a yearly visit to gift the actual good, or, better behaved demons with delights. Of course, Lucifer wouldn't want to bring Christ into hell, so then he comes up with the idea of Sinsmas, one day a year that, when you think about it, is kind of like hell's version of the Purge. Everyone knows that no one that cares about them would actually do something that would harm them, but Rathians can attack one another out of love. It would make just as much sense for residents of Greed to steal. That could also possibly work for envy. Similarly, lust can have giant orgies, possibly in the open. That would explain why we didn't see Fizz and Ozzy. We already know gluttony would indulge in gluttonous behavior. Lucy could bring this to the other sin's attention, and they could agree, with some hesitation from a few, I'm sure, that a day of ultimate sinning could be a grand celebration. Saint Nicholas, the real one, died in 343 AD. That would give more than enough time to have legends of the demon gift-bringer who arrives on Sinsmas become a normal phenomenon. They wouldn't even have to know that he's an angel. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the upper crusts went against it all because of their uppity ways. Stolas didn't know about Sinsmas and even made that fun is free crack. Imagine if Stolas was given gifts from Santa for Sinsmas, but Paimon thought along the lines of, "That is a commoner's holiday. We do not need to stoop so low as to dwell with the depravities of sin. And what are these filthy toys doing here? Fucking vagrants littering my home. We must improve our security before next year. Get rid of these before any of the children wake. I don't want them pestering me with this garbage." I mean, hey, if we're to use any of the merch as even a little bit canon, and we know we shouldn't, but hear us out, dang it, wouldn't it make sense for Charlie to know about Christmas celebrations because Lucy would have told her the truth about Santa? I know she would do it to comfort her guests too, but there is something adorable about the vision of little Charlie opening gifts on Sinsmas morning and Lucy looking out the window to see Santa give a little wink before he heads back up to heaven. It would certainly help give a little clarity to the situation, that's for sure.
Wow, Vogel, that's a bit. The holiday stuff really got to you, huh?
I just like trying to piece things together, and that's the best I got.
You good?
Yeah, no, I'm good now. Sorry. Continue.
Well, it appears the Hellaverse has their own wish charities, with the Wish-a-Wish call out there.
These wish-a-wish things sure have gotten mighty extreme.
Wonder who the most requested celeb is in this universe. Either way, Mr. Wrigglers is pretty comfortable with the imminent death thing. We touched on it a bit earlier, and sadly can't play it back to back for comparison here, or we risk part of the vid being scrapped. But if you listen to Mr. Wrigglers' background music, it sounds eerily similar to the introduction theme of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, further cementing the nod.
Let's see if there's anything worth noting in his goodbye montage. With his second kid, we see that even a squirrel is brought to tears by this loving scene. And it seems like his fifth stop has a kid who needs to get milk. They also might be of the queer community.
And when you walk down that aisle, whoever it's with.
Not shocking for the show, and we love to see it. But we love to see a supportive parent even more.
Okay, wait a minute. We said his sweater reminded us of Steve from Blue's Clues. But even crazier is that his last kid bears a resemblance to Josh Dela Cruz, the newest host of the Blue's Clues franchise. Steve even helped with the casting of Josh for the new series, so in a way, this feels like a strange but cute little homage to that.
What I want to know is, what is this guy's health regimen? He says
I've been happily married for 74 years.
Assuming he waited till he was at least 18 to marry, that gives him a minimum age of 92! God damn!
What the hell? That's insane! So is the fact Blitz has been eating the same lollipop all day and hasn't made any progress. Did he not learn from Antarctica? Gotta learn to use that tongue, dude.
Yeah, but looks like Mr. Wrigglers has been taking some pages from the book of Dale Gribble, even down to a full-on reference.
Pocket sand.
Wait, is that all there was for this one?
Kinda. I mean, the only other thing I could think of is Luna's hair with the blood splatter kinda looks like it did in the flashback in Ghost Fuckers, but yeah, that's about it.
Damn, Vocal. You made this video more rant the details.
Hey, they can't all have a million talking points. Besides, I had to get that out somehow.
Alright. Guess that's all for this time.
Thanks for watching. We hope we see y'all again real soon.